Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update. Couple of things to cover here. Some of it's actually somewhat notable, but I just want to lead off here with just sort of a kind of information thing that I think I've told you guys about before, but it probably should be brought up as we go into next week, which is the release date for Legend of Korra Patterns in Time in comic book stores. So that's the important thing here. As you can see here on the Dark Horse website, November 30th, 2022 is still the official release date for this book in comic book stores. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it has a separate release date that's quite different everywhere else, other retailers. That's going to be December 20th. That's what all the other places say. And just in case you are not quite trusting of this stuff, Dark Horse did basically directly reply to a Twitter thread I was having with someone discussing this, saying that yes, they have confirmed both these dates are correct as of November 22nd, so as of just a few days ago. These are the dates, and obviously we're only 4 days away from the 30th, so likely not going to change, especially the comic book store release date being next week. There still maybe could be a release kind of change, given that like December 20th, getting very close to the end of the year, close to Christmas. There could be some shipping delays just then. Who really knows? Obviously, it's not ideal. I don't think there's any way Dark Horse particularly wanted this book to only be released, say, December 20th for quite a few people. I think that's when the digital release is going to be. So it creates that sort of split situation where even on the November 30th, not everyone's going to have access to the book. And it's never a great thing. And that's why it was always a cool thing when it switched to being just a day apart. And hopefully we can get back to that going forward. But just, I think it's very important that everyone be aware of that difference. You'll be able to get Patterns in Time next week in your local comic book store. It has to be a comic shop that sells comics, that basically orders from Diamond, the comic distributor. Because that's basically what's happened here, is that there's sort of like, I think, a delay for everyone sort of accept Diamond. Diamond seem like they're okay. That's why it keeps the November date. But where everyone else is ordering from, that's been the problem. So that's important just because, this is the only new release of the year. And it is a book that Dark Horse have not talked about much officially. And a lot of the actually getting people up to speed has been done by, I'd honestly say myself, in terms of why most people know about what's actually in this book. Because Dark Horse have never officially said. You can find stuff out there, like they have a blog up, I think, on their website where they list most of the creators, but it's not, I think, entirely accurate compared to the final book. There are preview pages out there, but it's just confirming that the book has those reprint stories. So, again, if you do want a little bit of an insight into what's actually in this book, I'll link in the description and the pinned comment my early review for Patterns in Time, so you get a sense for what's actually in this book. I think most people are just going to grab it because it's the one big core thing that's happening this year. It's the only new content comic release of the year, and I think people are going to get it just because of that. The split release date does mean it's going to be tricky to do kind of content on it, because I'm probably, if I get it on November 30th, I should be able to get it November 30th. We'll do a spoiler review then. I was planning to do a live stream, but I think that will probably have to wait until the December 20th date when more people have access to the book. So let me know on that, if kind of you'd prefer it to be on the 30th, or if it would be better for that to actually happen later on in the year, closer to the secondary release date for the book. This is why it's so confusing. The only other thing I'll say about this is that someone on Twitter notified me that, the New York Comic Con panel is actually available to view online. You can watch what actually happened in it. Obviously, it was meant to be live streamed, but something happened and we only caught the last couple of minutes. So now you can see the full thing, basically. The only thing I particularly noted was sort of a few things said about Patterns in Time, and that was that the Dark Horse editor mentioned that this was a book that was basically in planning before Avatar Studios existed, and so basically was changed, was delayed because of Avatar Studios coming into existence. The only specific details we get on that are that Rachel Silverstein, who is one of the writers on one of the comics in Patterns in Time, did mention that she initially had a script for her comic, which is the Yasuko and Asami one, that was very, very dark, that she was told effectively to start again completely. So that's a massive contrast from what that story actually is. Skyscrapers, that story is not dark in the slightest. So she had a complete change of what that story is. So if indeed she was just told, like, write a Yasuko and Asami story, I'm guessing she went for the, how Yasuko died story and was told to do something different. That either is tonally not what they want to do in a story like this, or it's too notable of an event to cover here. Because what I said in my review about Skyscrapers, of course, is that it is a fine story, but it's only 4 pages, and I expected more from the introduction of Yasuko, basically. So, I'm excited to see what other people have to say about these books, because me having read the review copy like months ago at this point, like in September, it's been a while since I've read it, but also, I don't really know. I don't have anyone to bounce opinions off on what these stories are actually like, if they're that good or not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now, next is just this. I won't linger on this too much because I don't think this is inherently new as such. I do think that these have been up here for quite a while, and just I hadn't seen anyone talk about it. I happened to just come across this randomly the other day and saw that, oh wow, they have Avatar stuff, and it's an official brand shop. So this is all official Avatar merchandise here, using official imagery and so on. And so you can see they have a bunch of different artworks here across these different collections that they have, that you can get on these display plates, which are obviously metal posters. So if we just go into these, you can sort of see what they are. Lots of different designs. These ones are obviously a little bit more sort of graphical with the way they do the colors and so on. So they're kind of cool. The character elements is more direct sort of like promo art material. So there's some nice stuff here overall. I posted a few of these on Twitter, and people obviously hadn't seen these before. So I do feel like, in a way, I just alerted the fandom to the fact that, hey, these things actually exist. And I feel I've inadvertently sold quite a few Avatar Displates to people by mentioning this. I even bought one myself. I bought this one here, the Aang doing air sort of graphical one, just to see what it's like. I'll do a video on it just to see if they're actually pretty good. Obviously, because they're on sale right now, Black Friday and stuff like that, it's a decent time to get one of these if you actually do want them. Just looking through some of these again, it's pretty interesting. Like some of this stuff is really stock imagery that we have seen used over the last couple of years. So there's not too much to necessarily say about it. Some of it is new, like this Zuko here with the swords, I feel is new. I think a lot of the other stuff we have seen before. But the main thing you'd probably say here is just, the character selection is a little off, especially when it comes to like, oh, there's only really like the one Katara, and then I think there's one other one, but it's like book 1 Katara, it's book 1 Sokka, where's the later series stuff for those characters? But it is nice to see sort of the likes of Suki get one here, even Jet to a certain degree, May being included with the other Zuko one. But, whereas Korra, whereas a lot of the other characters, they have stock art, I think, for a lot of this stuff. And I suppose this will get updated as time goes on, and we'll see more of this actually come out. But this is just, another, I like to mention most of the Avatar merchandise that is out there. And this is a cool thing that's actually on quite good discount at the moment. Then, getting into some video game stuff, I don't think I covered this, even though it happened like a week and a bit ago. But you can see here, this game, Brawlhalla, is having this Avatar collab sort of DLC stuff going on. They're bringing Zuko, Aang, and Toph into the game. It seems like a sort of kind of beat 'em up style game here. I I really like, obviously I don't play this game and I haven't done much research into it or anything like that, but you know, it looks fun if you want it. I do think you have to buy the kind of skins or whatever it is for the avatar characters, because I'm guessing that probably is the way it works here, just based on what's going on, is that I think it is sort of just like an avatar skin over an already sort of existing character. I think that's how it works. But you know, you can see it's nice to see that. I think people got relatively excited about that because I think the game is meant to be pretty decent. The more recent one, though, from just a few days ago, is this. Minecraft is going to be getting an Avatar Legends DLC. So, one, they use Avatar Legends. This is one of the first other examples of this, apart from the actual Legends RPG, of it being used. But it makes sense because the characters that they're using are Aang, Korra, Roku, and Kyoshi. So they're not just doing ATLA specifically, they're doing, I suppose, a little bit of everything. And so it is a highlight thing here of when the whole franchise is being used, Avatar Legends does seem to get used. We have not really seen it happen regularly enough, I think, in that realistically, say, the novels going forward probably should be Avatar Legends, Kyoshi, Yang Chen, whatever. And then there's the whole Chronicles of the Avatar thing. So there's still some confusion about the actual franchise name and what exact approach they're taking. But it's nice to see a relatively big game like this, big game like this, use Avatar Legends and so on. Now, they're saying it's come to the Minecraft marketplace. I've not seen like crazy details about this. They have a video up on YouTube where it gets played through for about 20 minutes or so. And you can sort of see, like, it seems like there's a full-on like Avatar world that they've kind of made here. Like, some of the characters are here as bosses, I guess. Your characters have bending attacks and stuff like that. You do, I think, get to, if you go back here, you get to sort of like choose if you want to be like an airbender at the start and so on. So it seems like somewhat fleshed out. No idea about like pricing and stuff like that. You see White Lotus Sentry. This is Air Temple Island. So if you like Minecraft, this seems like a pretty cool thing. For me, Minecraft is one of those things where it's just this big thing that I know is really popular. I never played it. I never sought to play it necessarily, and I don't think I'm going to get into it just because Avatar is included. I just don't have the time to go into playing a whole other game when, you know, I'll just wait for Avatar, which does have video games on the way, to actually release its games. You know, we have Avatar Generations, the mobile game coming out, and then there is apparently Avatar Quest for Balance, but we'll see whenever that gets announced. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see a massive game like Minecraft get Avatar, to just highlight that, yeah, they are really going for it, for sure. So yeah, in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. And then, yeah, I suppose a quick reminder, once again, Patterns in Time is out next week for comic stores. Other places, it's December 20th. So you have to go to a comic book store to get the book next week. Just be really, really clear on that. But otherwise, let me know your thoughts on all these other pieces of news. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.